Hello from the studios of Maisha Television. Thank you so much for choosing Maisha TV and you're watching Maisha Prime News. It is our pleasure to have you on board. Our aim is to inform you of all that is happening in the country and also beyond. But first, let's have a look at our top stories.
Today, it marks the first step in a journey that will liberate our continent from export of raw material to the rest of the world to export of processed, manufactured products.
President William Ruto flags off Kenya tea to Ghana under AFCFTA trade initiative. Also tonight,
and all of us know that chemical pesticides like Roundup have been banned in Europe. They have been started to be causing cancer. Then why is it that our government is promoting crops that are going to increase usage of chemical pesticides that are carcinogenic and therefore causing diseases?
Uproar by the Kenyan farmers after the approval of genetically modified organisms commonly known as GMO in Kenya. Plus,
na kwa hivyo tumeomba viongozi ambao wako upande ule wa north waweze kutusaidia ili tuweze kukutanana kama jamii, tuongee, tuweze kuzuia hiyo shida namna gani, kwa sababu vile hii shida itaendelea italeta chuki baina yetu yenyewe.
National Government Administration officers in Isiolo County risk facing an axe due to increased cases of insecurity in the region. Right, welcome on board. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. Kenya has expanded its tea export market to West and Central African trading countries as it seeks to cash in on tea demand in the region. President William Ruto on Wednesday flagged off the first consignment to Accra, Ghana, under the African Continental Free Trade Area, guided by Trade Initiative. Speaking at the KICC, Ruto said it was time Kenya takes advantage of its good quality tea and brand it. Millicent Luamba with more.
President William Ruto on Wednesday, October 5th, flagged off Kenyan tea to Accra, Ghana under the AFCFTA guided trade initiative held at Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, Nairobi. While at the KICC event, the president noted that the country's rich growth in tea will be utilized by exporting the product to other African countries in a bid to exchange trade and bilateral efforts.
The event today, it marks the first step in a journey that will liberate our continent from export of raw material to the rest of the world to export of processed, manufactured products, not just to our continent, but to the rest of the world. This is a very significant step. And when we began the journey to consolidate the market in Africa and provide the infrastructure using the FTA statute, it looked like it was a dream. But today, we are living that dream as reality.
The president also mentioned that they are still working with the producers of the fertilizer so as to ensure that the prices lowers to between 2,500 shillings and 3,000 shillings.
Our farmers progressively that we are going to be working with you, the government of Kenya will work with you towards enhancing our productivity and increasing our production of the cross-section of all the items that we produce. As the chairman has said, the government of Kenya has already worked on the fertilizer components. I know we have, the government has made available about 3.5 billion shillings so that our farmers can have access to fertilizer at a fairly reduced price of 3,500. We are still working with the producers of fertilizer. We want to see whether we can take this fertilizer down to between 2,500 and 3,000. That is our trajectory. And it's not just for tea, it's for all our farmers, whether they are doing coffee or they are doing wheat or maize or all the other cereals in that space.
He went ahead to say that their next agenda is to eliminate barriers in the tea sector that comes from matters taxation.
I have already had a discussion with industry players in the tea sector. They have raised a couple of issues, matters to do with taxation. I want to undertake that our next agenda, when we will be discussing our budget, is to eliminate any barriers in the tea sector that come as a result of matters taxation.
He said that they will also check on the cost benefits analysis of VAT to see whether it accounts to growth or stiffens.
We are going to look at the cost benefit analysis on VAT on tea, whether it is helping the farmers or it is stifling our value addition agro-processing trajectory. I have also had a conversation on emerging markets, markets for tea, orthodox tea, and I have been informed that KTDA may require some support so that we can capture the market on orthodox tea. I have given undertaking that in the next 2 weeks, I want a proposal from KTDA so that we can provide the resources for KTDA to make it possible for more farmers to produce orthodox tea so that we can access that market and take advantage of what is going on globally, especially in the orthodox tea space.
The president also insisted that Kenya should take advantage of its good quality tea and brand it so that anybody who may want to use the tea must work with them. It continued saying that they will work to see the value added Kenya tea rise from 5% to 50% for exports.
The other two very important things that we must do is to develop a Kenyan brand of tea. So the ministry, the instructions to you are very clear. We must have a Kenyan branded product in tea that we can market, and it doesn't matter what form it takes. I am going to be available, and the government of Kenya is going to be available until we have that brand of tea so that we can be selling our tea. Number two, in the next 5 years, we must move our value-added tea from 5% to 50%. Today, we are adding value to only 5% of our tea. I want to tell the ministry, it's not going to be business as usual. We are going to move our value-added tea for export from 5% to 50%. at the minimum.
Millicent Luamba, Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
Thank you, Millicent Luamba. Teachers across the world celebrated World Teachers' Day on Wednesday, October 5th. The day was created by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in 1994 to acknowledge and appreciate the teaching profession worldwide. Over the years, the day has become one of the most important occasions in the UN calendar, as it offers opportunities to reflect on ways to counter the challenges of teaching professionals. This year's celebrations come at a time when teachers will also be looking to President William Ruto, who during the campaigning period made a commitment to address inequalities in the education sector to ensure a level playing field for all. Bushedi Jr. brings us that story.
Teachers across the world marked World Teachers' Day, celebrated on October 5th every year to acknowledge and appreciate the teaching profession worldwide.
Today we celebrate World Teachers' Day, and it gives us a sense of immense honor and privilege and a sense of responsibility. Unlike we serve other communities of the society.
The theme this year is the transformation of education begins with teachers.
And as the theme of this year goes, the transformation of education begins with teachers, which is indeed a true statement. And on this transformational journey at Medihill, we join hands in terms of transforming the healthcare in this part of the world.
In Kenya, the events marked on this day advocate for bold action which needs to be taken by decision makers and all stakeholders to support teachers everywhere and recognize their critical role in shaping the future of education.
There's nothing as sweet as seeing a young child develop skills that they didn't come in having. For example, a child comes in that cannot even hold a pen, cannot read. By the end of the year, the child has acquired skills of writing, the child speaks good English.
Learning remains one of the most critical assets for any country to promote equitable growth and poverty reduction, and that cannot happen without a solid foundation. Teachers play an essential role in education, most especially in the lives of the students they teach in the classroom. What defines a teacher is his or her ability to teach students and a positive influence on them.
The Teacher Service Commission created a unified curriculum for teacher capacity building.
Generally, the role of a teacher in education goes beyond teaching. In today's world, teaching has different faces, and a teacher has to carry out the part of being an external parent, counselor, mentor, role model, and so on.
The chief principal of Sugai Girls. Just want to thank God because of the opportunity that I got to be in this school. Call it 1 year old. In this school we have quite a number of teachers. We have 24 TSC teachers, and beside that we also have 8 teachers who are on BOM terms.
While the education sector faces treacherous sources of inequality, including uneven quality and results, Kenya has embarked on ambitious reforms to address the quality issues rather than considering the job done by virtue of near universal access and coverage. On this Teachers' Day, Maisha TV, a partner of over 100 schools, highlights the journey of growth in academics and the role of teachers in achieving the education goals. Kenya's education sector has improved quickly despite a number of disruptions. Despite these gains, challenges abound. Kenya has huge regional inequalities in all education outcomes. While most counties exceed 12 expected years of school, very low outcomes are concentrated in a few counties in the north and the northeast of the country, in arid and semi-arid areas, with EYS as low as 6.5 years. Only in Nairobi County is near completing 12 years of learning adjusted years of school. Education outcomes are much lower in rural areas, and for lower income populations, net enrollment rates (NER) are significantly higher in pre-primary, primary and secondary education for children from households in the top 20% of income distribution when compared to the bottom 20%.
Despite the elaborate programs, there is teacher shortage and uneven distribution of trained teachers, particularly in disadvantaged areas such as northern Kenya and Rift Valley, due to insecurity and teacher outflow, political and stakeholder interference in teacher distribution, and teachers' preference for urban and high potential areas.
The government embarked on ambitious reforms which sought to improve the quality of education through several approaches: a competency-based curriculum (CBC), reforming professional teacher development, textbook policy, and management practices at the local level.
To this effect, the government supplied learners digital devices, teacher digital devices, and projectors to primary schools. The integration of information, communication, and technology has been identified as one of the flagship projects to be used by teachers as a vehicle for delivering quality education. To encourage teacher digitization, the Ministry of Education identified ICT competencies for teachers, administrators, and education managers to ensure all levels have the necessary skills for ICT leadership. In addition, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development created appropriate digital content for teaching and learning, while the Teacher Service Commission created a unified curriculum for teacher capacity building to embrace ICT integration in education.
These reforms have made Kenya a top education performer in Eastern and Southern Africa, according to the Kenya Economic Update Edition 25, aiming high, securing education to sustain recovery. Many teachers we spoke to admitted that teachers' role in the classroom, society, and the world at large have taken a different turn from what it was back in the day. Over time, teachers were given a specific curriculum to follow, as well as instructions on how to go about teaching the curriculum. In the world today, the teacher's role has gone beyond teaching. Their role now involves counseling of students, mentoring students, teaching students how to use and apply knowledge in their lives. Teachers are now looking for ways they can impact students on a whole different level and even inspire them to be more and do more.
We have kids doing art, weaving, making belts. There's a lot cooking. So we are believing that when they come out of school, they'll have a variety of things.
I see children coming up with a lot of skills. Skills are embraced here. And also the art, performing arts. We see, like when you look at a school like Applegate, they are the best school nationally when it comes to performing arts.
Hands-on knowledge, you have practical knowledge,
and it's very engaging for the learners and as well as the parents.
Although teachers do not see themselves as role models per se, the truth is they actually are. The amount of time students spend with teachers each day or week makes it possible for them to have a certain level of influence on the students. It is now down to the teacher to make this influence positive or negative. Being a teacher goes beyond just teaching according to the curriculum. It is about grooming in the child. Teachers don't only impart knowledge, but they also help with character building as well. For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Bushebi Jr.
Thank you, Bushebi Jr., and happy Teachers Day to all remarkable teachers out there. We celebrate you. And moving on, the Deputy President on numerous occasions found himself making controversial remarks, calling for his clarity thereafter. The lack of apt judgment in his remarks subjected him to debate by Kenyans, many calling for his measurement of statements during public speeches. He was recently forced to clarify after hinting at the government's plan to sanction the Shamba system. Sharon Chepchumba brings us more.
Since assuming office alongside President William Ruto, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been on the trending topics among Kenyans. This has been occasioned by the utterances he had been making almost in every appearance, mainly in the media. While many have been finding the Deputy President entertaining, others have been faulting him for some of the pronouncements he has been making without desired prudence. In other instances, he has made blunders that have left Kenyans in great amusement and fun.
Rigathi anachoma nafanya nini? Kama kusema ukweli yako ile unasema kuhusu vile Kenya iko ndio itafanya Wakenya wapone, wewe choma kabisa. While reading his oath on September 13 at Kasarani Stadium, the Deputy President misread his scripted oath, leading to a moment of confusion and laughter.
In the office of the Deputy President
of the Republic of Kenya,
I will diligently
serve the people,
discharge my duties, and perform my functions in the said office.
May I request that we take it again, please?
To the best of my judgment.
During a media interview, the Deputy President asserted that Kenya ran into foreign exchange problems because of influence from senior government officials in former President Uhuru Kenyatta's government. He noted that the Central Bank of Kenya CBK forex reserves was swindled by the powerful factionaries who had held the state captive.
Na kusema miezi 3 ya serikali iliondoka, pesa ziliporwa na kutumika vibaya. Na tumepata ya kwamba iko shida mingi sana. Tumekosa maneno ya foreign exchange. Hata jana tumekuwa na crisis kwa sababu pale katika benki kuu hakuna zile pesa za kigeni za kutosha za kuagiza mafuta kutoka nchi za nje.
In a quick rejoinder, CBK distanced themselves from Gachagua's comments, clarifying that they do not supply requisite foreign exchange and that all foreign exchange from private transactions is obtained from commercial banks. Deputy President was forced to make a clarification after hitting at the government's plan to sanction the return of the Shamba system.
Tumetoa order, wananchi wapewe nafasi walime msitu. Ndio tuongeze chakula kwa Kenya hii. Sasa iko haja gani kukataza watu kulima mahindi alafu tunaenda kutoa mahindi ng'ambo? Ni ujinga, si ujinga? Kwa hivyo hiyo Shamba system itarudi.
The announcement by Rigathi ignited reactions among Kenyans who argued the system will lead to deforestation in the face of the global climate change occasioned by, among others, the decline in forest cover.
And for us as a country to succeed, it is not to introduce food into our forest or crops into our forest, but in the opposite, to introduce trees where our crops are. This is the direction. There should be no fight.
That Shamba system notice does not mean watu waingie tu wapalilie. Kutakuwa na taratibu na mbinu ya kutumia. Sisi as parliament we shall put in place rules and regulations and the law that will ensure Shamba system is not abused.
In his defense, the deputy president said he was misquoted by the media.
We want to tell the press the campaign is over. Report us objectively. When I was in Baringo, I did announce to the people of Kenya that we have a serious program on afforestation. There is a lot of land within the forest reserve that has been earmarked for tree planting, and we are going to mobilize farmers in this old spirit to assist us to plant new trees in those areas that have no trees and take care of them as they farm until the trees are of age, and then the forest can continue growing.
Deputy President went bare knuckles on DCI officers who rain havoc on elected leaders.
We have told DCI to go back to Kiambu Road and wait for crimes to be reported there. They have no business in government offices hovering all over and creating a toxic environment for service delivery. We cannot have detectives in government offices because they poison the atmosphere and the environment for civil servants to deliver.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua recently sounded a warning to ambassadors who will be charged with representing the country in the foreign world. He stated that the new envoys under President William Ruto's administration will be held to account should they fail in their responsibilities.
All the ambassadors and high commissioners who will be appointed by this new administration to serve in the various missions across the globe, 70% of their work will be to look for new markets for our agricultural produce while expanding the existing markets.
Should the ambassador fail to live up to their responsibilities as stipulated in Memorandum of Understanding MOU, the Deputy President said they will be recalled back to undertake farming.
Indeed, we have agreed that all the ambassadors and high commissioners who will be appointed will sign an MOU with us for 2 years on what we expect them to do in terms of enlarging markets and creating new markets. Those who are unable to deliver will be recalled back home to come and start farming with the other farmers here.
Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Sharon Chepchumba.
More melodious and called me Riggy G.
Asante sana Sharon Chepchumba. And Kenya's former President Uhuru Kenyatta is set to fly to South Africa for high-level peace talks aimed at ending the Tigray-Ethiopia conflict. A letter from the African Union dated October 1st, seen by Maisha TV, indicated that Uhuru will form part of the panel alongside Olusegun Obasanjo, AU High Representative for the Horn of Africa and former President of Nigeria. The event is scheduled to take place on Sunday, October 8th. The talks are aimed at fostering peace between the government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and the Tigray People's Liberation Front TPLF. And to the neighboring country, Uganda's Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Aceng Osero, confirmed that an Ebola patient passed away on Wednesday morning after battling the illness for 17 days. Ms. Nabisubi Margaret, an officer in charge of anesthesia, was admitted to Fort Portal Hospital in Western Uganda's Fort Portal district. The 58-year-old is the fourth healthcare professional to die. The first was a midwife from St. Florence Clinic who was a likely case because she passed away before being tested, according to Osero. The second person to pass away on October 1st was Dr. Muhammad Ali, a Tanzanian studying in Uganda. Ali was enrolled in Kampala International University's Masters in Medicine in Surgery program. Dr. Osero claimed that the third person worked as a health assistant in the Kagadi district. Now back to the country. Tension is high in Turkana South after heavily armed gunmen raided villages and stole over 500 camels. Residents of Lokorokupus and Kangirega villages said over 200 heavily armed gunmen stilled the raid and drove the animals towards West Pokot County. The attacks occurred 2 weeks after the heavily armed bandits shot 11 people dead, including 8 GSU officers during a raid in Namariat in Turkana East.
Jana ilikuja karibu saa 6 usiku. Kama yangu nilikuwa 85. Na ile hii mzee nilikuwa 52. Haula wengine hapa kwa huyu na 37 kwa ile ndogo. Haula katikati hii inakuwa hiyo 30 peke yake. Hakuna ile iko juu. Sasa kwa ile watu ile anasimama hapa, hata huyu nilichukua ngamia yake karibu 24.
Juzi sisi nilikamata wizi hapa na hiyo naibanga ambuzi usiku jioni. Nikakamata hiyo hasira ya watu huko, ndio akakuja kamea nini, akachukua hiyo akafamia hiyo ng'ombe ngambia. Sasa naomba tu serikali tusaidie, kama iko namna kusaidia tusaidie tu hapo.
Now properties they have gone, they have been taken. Those people were yesterday, they were rich yesterday. This morning they were the poorest. They have been listed now in the list of those who are poorer in this country. So this issue between us and Pokot, it has to come to an end. As leaders from Turkana, we are now voicing the problems, the cries, the tears of our community. They have been in this menace. They are now malnourished because of insecurity.
Right, time for a short commercial break. Let's pay some bills and bounce back.
Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms.
Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information.
The classes were in a poor condition.
Cultural programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
The most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat.
I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. No.
The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameweza kuwapa uhuru watoto wao
and local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Maisha TV digital platform engages users everywhere through multimedia approach technology. A Maisha Television digital platform, your local and continental channel platform where you choose it, watch it and love it. strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey. But a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. Join Irene Mumbo Bushebi and Rita Kering on Prime Women Talk every Wednesday from 8 p.m. exclusive to MTV.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening. Robert Moore
is live at Hannesburg.
Barcelona is live from Damascus.
We're on the doorstep. For Maisha TV.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information.
Protect by all available means our territory.
Parliament must be careful.
Maisha Prime News, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. Trusted, unbiased, authoritative. The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Take away the noise.
We are here to inform and educate you on all that is happening around you.
The fury. Hello and thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. The fighting voices, the distortions, the color and the flashy effects. But most of all, you can take away the lights. The misrepresentation that seeks to pull us apart, and then you can finally find out what is actually happening. And when you find that, then you will find Maisha Prime News, trusted, unbiased, authoritative.
The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Welcome back. You're watching Maisha Prime News. The lifting of the ban on genetically modified foods, GMOs, by the Kenya government has brought mixed reactions in the country, with members of the Kenya Peasants League and Kangemi grassroots human rights defenders condemning the move, saying it's meant to benefit a few greedy companies in Kenya, but also have long-term negative effects in the country. Stephen Lubanga reports.
Few days ago, after the government lifted the ban on the genetic modified foods, the GMOs, a move that has caused mixed reactions among small-scale farmers in the country. According to the farmers, they condemned the move by the Minister of Agriculture, saying that foreign genes are introduced to the organisms, therefore altering the whole process.
And we are gathered hereby to condemn with the strongest possible terms the move by the cabinet to lift the ban on open cultivation and importation of white GMO crops. Genetic engineering takes place in the field, but it is different from what takes place in the labs, where you find that foreign genes are introduced into the organisms, therefore altering the genetic makeup of those organisms. And this has got a potential of altering the genetic makeup of species we're having in our country. And this is very dangerous for our government to adopt that.
On their part, the farmers insisted that lifting the ban is not a solution to end a severe hunger and drought that is being experienced in the country, but instead the government should find an amicable solution to the crisis.
We also contest the argument by the current government that introduction of GMOs is going to solve the problem of hunger. Because if that was the case, why is it that countries like South Africa that has gone fully GMO are still facing hunger? So GMO is not the solution to hunger. The solution to hunger is government increasing investments in food production. FAO, of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, has stated that smallholder food producers produce 70% of all the foods on the table. Yet, the smallholders don't get any support from government. It means that if government can start investing in smallholder food producers, then we are going to solve the problem of hunger. So, GMOs is not the solution to the problem of hunger.
The farmers expressed their concerns, adding that the health of Kenyans will be in a limbo if we still gamble with the GMO foods, adding that Roundup-like pesticides chemicals cause cancer.
And all of us know that chemical pesticides like Roundup have been banned in Europe. They have been started to be causing cancer. Then why is it that our government is promoting crops that are going to increase usage of chemical pesticides that are carcinogenic and therefore causing diseases? We also know that some of these GMO, the GMO crops have the terminator gene, which means that farmers have to buy seeds every planting season. This also an added cost to the farmers. While you see the indigenous seeds that we as Kenya Peasant League promote banking can be replanted from any season to any season, meaning that these companies to adopt GMO seeds are here for profit. They're not here to provide livelihoods for our people.
The farmers pointed out that the climate change has really been affected by the chemicals, thus disrupting the food production in the country.
Kitengo kenye serikali imechukua kwetu sisi kama wakulima wadogo ni madhara kubwa, tukijua kuwa wakulima wadogo they're playing a bigger role kwa food production. Na sahi tumekuwa na issue ya climate change, na tunajua one of the major cause of climate change ni hizi mbegu mbaya zenye zinaletwa na hizi kampuni, na tunaomba sahi serikali kwamba hawawezi kuwa they're making decision on behalf of wakulima. Ingekuwa mzuri sana kama wangekuwa they're involving wakulima pia kwa hizi maswala zenye wanapitisha. So kwa sisi ni kitu mbaya sana na serikali ingeenda hivyo. Juu tunajua vizuri sana hizi mbegu zinaleta maugonjwa kwa mwili.
They have however called on the government in promoting banking of indigenous seeds that can be planted after every season and shared among the farmers without altering nutrition benefits.
Therefore, we are asking the Kenyan government to focus on supporting farm-based research, because the farmers, their farms are big laboratories. The farmers need to be supported to conduct research, to bank indigenous seeds, and the smallholder food producers and consumers also need to be supported by the Kenyan government. They need to be consulted. The government of Kenya should invest in promoting banking of indigenous seeds, in building granaries, in conducting research for our seeds and improving them, but not supporting GMOs.
For Maisha Prime News, I'm Lubanga Steven.
Thank you, Stephen Lubanga. And families of kin stranded in Gulf countries continue to troop to government and the human rights officers with desperate pleas to have their kin back. The agonizing family, some whose relatives have died in the Middle East, have asked the government to intervene and repatriate their bodies.
Kutoka tarehe 7 mwezi wa 8 aliniambia ati msichana yangu hasikii mzuri. Sasa tarehe 8 akaniambia amekufa. Sasa nilijaribu kumwambia aniletee, hakuniletea, alinipimia simu.
But chenye mademu wana go through it's too painful. Every day I feel so much pain watching Citizen TV nikiona wana hear mademu what they are going through. Nikifikiria chenye sistangu ananiambia daily, sistangu kwa Iraq. Nilichukua badeni yote, stress zote za sistangu ananipatia na zibebanga. Sometimes I even lie to my mom. Mwangu kushago. Namdanganya Susan akopoa.
And our concern as an organization is that the government is not doing enough to address the plight of Kenyans who are suffering in the Gulf. We have many who are currently at the Sakan Holding Center. We even have others who have been arrested, prosecuted and jailed merely for raising complaints, for raising their concerns about how they are treated.
Christian faithfuls from Harvest Christian Church in Meru County had to work for several days to Sugoi in Uasin Gishu County, the home county of President William Ruto, to personally thank the Almighty for the peaceful election and for answering their prayers to choose William Ruto as the President of the Republic of Kenya.
Nilikuwa nikimwambia Mungu kwamba Mungu akithibitisha neno lake kwamba rais wetu apite awe rais, tutatembea mguu kutoka nyumbani tena mpaka mahali amesaliwa, ili tukamwambie mama aliyemzaa asante.
Vile alichaguliwa na Mungu aendelee kuongoza nchi yetu ya Kenya kama vile Mungu alimchagua, aendelee hivyo kwa maana ni mteule wa Mungu.
Tumeenda milima mingi tukiombea Mungu atimize neno lake, na alipotimiza tukaendelea kwenda mlimani kuomba. Sisi utembea muda mrefu na utembea mahali parefu katika milima tukimwombea na tukiombea amani na serikali ya Kenya.
Police in Vihiga County have arrested 2 suspects believed to have been involved in the murder of a middle-aged man who was allegedly murdered in cold blood at Mbihi in Wamuluma ward in Vihiga County. Investigations into the murder have since been launched. Moving on, former Kirinyaga woman representative Purity Wangui Ngirishi has informed Kerugoya High Court presiding judge Richard Mwongo that she intends to withdraw her petition against the election of Governor Anne Waiguru. Ngirishi's legal team told the court of the new development during a pre-trial session on Wednesday, where the team was expected to sort out issues and get an update on the proceedings. Judge Mwongo granted Ngirishi's legal team 7 days to make the withdrawal.
And today we came to this court for pre-trial so that we can take directions on the hearing of the petition. But we have informed the court that we will be making an application to withdraw the petition in accordance with the instructions given to us by our client, the Honorable Purity Ngirishi. So within the provisions of Rule 21 of the election rules, once a petition is filed, it cannot be withdrawn without leave of the court. So you first seek to get leave of the court before you are allowed to withdraw a petition. So the court has given us time to file that application, 7 days, to file the application and serve upon the respondents. Then the respondents will respond to the application, and we come back to court on the 24th of this month so that we can take directions on the hearing of the application. So ultimately, after the hearing of the application, the court will make a decision, to make a ruling, whether to allow the application for withdrawal of the petition or not. If the court allows that, then we shall withdraw the petition. But if the court does not allow, then it means that we shall proceed with the petition to the full hearing. In the application, we must give reasons for why we were withdrawing the petition. So that to be contained in the application.
Now the law requires that that sort of withdrawal is done through a formal application, and it is also advertised in the newspapers. And so they have been given 7 days to do that, and then we'll be back here on the 24th of this month for the prosecution of that application. For us, speaking on behalf of the third and fourth respondents, the governor and the deputy, I think we appreciate the step taken. I think this county needs to move forward without the necessity of spending a lot of energy in court. There's a lot of work to be done, and I think people should not be distracted through court proceedings like happened in the last time. So we're grateful, and we're happy that that has happened, and we're looking forward to actually the prosecution of the application and for us to file that matter aside and move on with other more important issues.
Right, we are still here to inform you and educate you on what is happening. But first, we got to get another short commercial break. Don't go away.
Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms.
Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information.
The classes were in a poor condition.
Cultural programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
The most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat.
I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. Let me tell you why the No.
The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime Talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameita kuwapa uhuru watoto wao
and local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Maisha TV digital platform engages users everywhere through multimedia approach technology. A Maisha Television digital platform, your local and continental channel platform where you choose it, watch it and love it. We are education. We are academics. We are knowledge. We are your trusted education partner. This is Maisha TV.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Your world of Maisha is getting an exciting makeover. We're giving your channel a dedicated touch to enhance your viewing experience. Finding what you want and loving it has never been this easy.
We build your capacity. The problem is leadership.
My name is Rida Chebet Kering.
Welcome home to your dedicated channel, where you choose it, watch it, and love it. It's najivunia kuwa Mkenya. Na ninajali matukio yanayojiri nchini Kenya na ulimwengu mzima. Natazama runinga ya Maisha ili nipate habari kamili. Naichagua, naitazama na ninaipenda. Maisha TV ni bora.
Engage with us on Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE.
Let me tell you, when they give you a very good deal, okay, look for the hidden charges.
Yeah.
Period. Forget about the figures that you're seeing. Just look for the hidden charges. It is his prerogative to have a conversation with chiefs and sub-chiefs. It's just, so if you ask him not to have a close relationship with them, it's like asking a doctor not to speak to nurses.
The big question is, are women experiencing gender inequality?
The male counterparts are being treated, so it's okay. Women have really been discriminated.
Tobias Hissa is my name. I'm the principal of Bungoma DB School.
The principal of Kibanda Mixed Secondary School.
Ni mwalimu mkuu wa shule ya watoto walemavu ya Nalonga.
Dr. Godfrey Murunga, the fourth principal of Kisiwa DTI.
I'm Zadok Manala, the manager for Kaimosi Friends Vocational Training Center.
This is Bushangala Secondary School.
Alright, welcome back. You're watching Maisha Prime News here on Maisha Television, and let's have a look at our education segment.
Kenya as a country has valued education, and at a time when knowledge is required for thriving in a fast-growing society, the government has put measures to ensure that every child is entitled to education. This is the case with Okodoi Secondary School, headed by Mr. John Ouma, who now spearheads an academic evolution in Teso Sub-County, Busia County.
Majina naitwa Ouma John. Ndimi mwalimu mkuu wa shule ya upili ya Baba Okodoi. Niliingia hapa mnamo mwaka wa 2016. Tangu wakati huo wanafunzi walikuwa 540, lakini kwa hivi sasa idadi imeongezeka from 540 to 960. Walimu ni wachapakazi, tunashirikiana nao pamoja kwa minajili ya kusukuma hili gurudumu. Kiakademia ni kwamba tumekuwa shule bora kwa miaka miwili mtawalia. Mwaka 2020 tulitoa wanafunzi wawili waliokuwa na ya kuondoa, na ndio ilikuwa shule bora Teso Kusini kwa kutoa mnamo mwaka wa 2018. Hali kadhalika tukatoa mwanafunzi bora Teso Kusini. Hilo ni jambo ambalo nafikia litokea kwa sababu ya ushirikiano ambao tulikuwa nao walimu pamoja na halmashauri ya shule na chama cha walimu na wazazi.
The school principal says that the growth in academics is anchored on discipline, performing staff and supportive community as well as county and national governments.
Majengo tangu niingie hapa tumejenga majengo mbalimbali, madarasa mbalimbali tukishirikiana na halmashauri ya shule. Hali kadhalika mashirika mbalimbali kama World Bank wametujengea maabara na darasa 2. Serikali haikuachwa nyuma, ikatuletea darasa 1 CBC kwa minajili ya wale wanafunzi wa grade ya 6 ambao watafika humu shuleni.
Apart from the academic leverage, the school has invested in other economic-based programs such as fish farming and maize farming.
Miradi mbalimbali tumeanzisha. Kuna fish pond, kuna tumejenga vio, tumejenga tumepanda miti mbalimbali ili kuboresha mazingira yetu. Madarasa tangu niingie hapa nimejenga karibu madarasa 6. Idadi ya walimu kwa sababu ya ushirikiano wao. Kile